Well, today I'm presenting the intercultural communication presentation. So I would like to start by giving a brief description and definition of the theories that we will be working on. We have a Hall's theory of high and low context cultures. So basically what the theory says is that the meaning of a message in high context cultures is determined by more than what you're saying. It is determined by the context. So that involves where are you saying it, who are you talking to, what is their social status, level of education, and stuff like that. And in low context cultures, the message that you transmit or something is just determined by what you're saying. Dimensions of social culture, they have 6 categories. So they are power dimension, individualism, masculinity, uncertainty, avoidance, long-term orientation, and indulgence. Out of those, we were asked to pick 4 of them. So I picked power distance, masculinity, and indulgence, and individualism. So I'm gonna give you guys like a brief definition of what those are and an example of why I picked them. So I'm gonna start by power distance. So basically that's the degree to which a society accepts that power is gonna be distributed unequally. So this has to do with a hierarchy. An example of this is Australia versus Hong Kong. Australia is a really low power distance culture, while Hong Kong is a high power distance culture. In Hong Kong, you expect people to have more or less power than you, and that defines everything in business, in your daily life, who you are, the job you have. The power that you hold is critical for everything. Next dimension is masculinity. So basically this dimension talks about what values are considered more important in a culture. In masculine cultures, they prefer, they go more for material rewards and something that will reflect your power and your status. You want big houses, fancy cars, because that shows that you have money, that you are powerful, and stuff like that. It's really competitive. You're all the time trying to do best than your neighbor, have a nicer house, have a yacht, go to fancy trips. You're always competing with the person by your side. While in feminine societies, the culture is more about quality of life. You're not trying to prove your status to everybody. And the next dimension is indulgence. So this one is interesting. I found that it's one of the newest ones. So it basically refers to the extent to which people control their desires. Low control is indulgence, and it's about enjoying life, feeling free to rest and take a day for yourself because life is good and you can do it and you can enjoy it because you have worked so hard and now you deserve to take a break and you deserve to enjoy your work and what you have done with it. On the other side, in cultures like China, life is perceived to be hard, and all the time you have to be working and take little time to yourself because life is hard, and to make it you just have to keep working and working and working there, and there's nothing else than what you're told to do. Lastly, I have individualism. Basically, the high side of this dimension refers to societies where individuals are expected to take care of themselves. Like basically everyone is on their own. Now, the other side of the spectrum is collectivism, which means that societies, and basically it's that societies where you would expect a group, and let's call your neighbors, to look after you or to express some kind of loyalty to you. Like, you know that you are part of a group, you think more of as we than I. Alright, so next is the high and low cultures. I have, well, basically I wanted to do my research on something that will basically relate to my major. I am an international business major, so I found this research done by the Journal of Personal Selling and Sales Management. And the research basically had two focus groups, and American representatives and Filipino representatives. And they were looking at how their communication styles affect their sales styles. So for this study, and we found out that the Philippines, which is a high context culture, were less rigid with time and when to close a contract, when to sign. They were more flexible. While the US representatives, which is a low context culture, they wanted everything done immediately and in writing. And basically, for the results of the research show that the Filipino were more cooperative. They were trying to take into account what the Americans wanted and try to find a middle ground. While the Americans were more individualist and they distrusted the intentions of the Filipino people. In conclusion, basically the Filipino and high context cultures are more driven towards cooperation as a natural solution to their problems, while for Americans and low context cultures, solving problems in a cooperative way is not their second nature, so they have to practice it and learn about it. And basically, the conclusion overall was that in this kind of situation where they have to negotiate with a different culture, saying there's a low and high culture, it is easier for the high culture person to negotiate and talk and get to a middle ground with the low culture person than the other way around. And well, these are my resources, and thank you.